Why don't I like Citadel textured paint? Let's have another Wonders Off discussion. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, today I want to have a discussion about the Citadel textured paint and why I don't like it. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so this Wonders Of series is a discussional series about certain topics, just a chilled chit-chat discussion. Today we're going to talk about the Citadel textured paint, and I would love to hear your comments regarding this subject. If you fancy making a video response, then please feel free. First of all, I just want to say that I have nothing against the Citadel textured paint. In actual fact, I think it's good that we have it. I think it's pretty useful for certain people. It's just that personally, I wouldn't use it, and that's what I want to talk about. So why wouldn't I use it? Well, there's many reasons actually. The first reason is I think it's an expensive way to base your bases. Now, okay, I could go out, and indeed I have done with my Space Wolves, and I could spend like £5 buying 10 resin bases, and arguably, you know, that's pretty expensive for a whole army compared to maybe what a pot of this textured paint stuff will do. Now, it's fair to say that I've never used the textured paint, although my son did use it, so I have seen it in action. And you know, you have to put it on quite thick, so that little pot of textured paint isn't really going to last that long. And to be fair, I think it's probably overpriced, but I think that's fairly typical with Games Workshop. But yeah, it's a bit overpriced. Now, if you compare that to what, say, Luke from APS does, he makes his own textured paint for bases, and he makes a bucket load of it for just a fraction of the cost that a small Games Workshop pot can do. Now, I've got nothing wrong with the effect that it does. I mean, especially the crackled ones, I think they look pretty cool. But the ones that just look like basically sand with paint in, I mean, any of us could make up you know, a big pot of that stuff and put it onto our bases. So I think on the whole it's just an expensive product that we don't necessarily need as gamers. However, I can certainly see that it has a good market, especially with the youngsters, because you know, the parents can go into the shop, they buy the paint, oh look, there's some material to put on the base, and they just buy a little pot, and then little Joey can just like spread it on the base, maybe dry brush it, and when it's dry, and then it's done, and it looks pretty decent. Like I said, I've got nothing against the actual product itself. I mean, it works well and it looks good. Having said that, I've seen a lot of models recently, especially the ones with the new bigger bases, where I feel that when people use this textured paint and nothing else, that it looks incredibly bland. Even though it's been like washed and dry brush and highlighted, you know, look at like a unit of 10 Marines on these 32mm bases, or even bigger in the case of some of these Primaris Marines, and they look really bland in my opinion. I think the look isn't that great. I think you still, if you're using this textured paint, you still have to add additional material to the base, like extra rocks or flock or grass or tufts or whatever, because I think they're just, to be honest with you, I don't like the look of them on the bigger bases when it's just used by itself. So personally, I just wouldn't buy it. Because A, I think I can make it myself if I want that effect. B, I'm pretty old school. I'm used to making my own basing material, you know, with sand or whatever I'm going to put onto the base. I've got a new army up and coming, which I've got to come up with a base design, but I'm 100%, there's no way I'm going to be buying textured paint for it. I do have a little idea, but that's going to come up in a future Saved by Slanesh episode on how I'm going to do the bases for my Emperor's Children army. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Now, I've seen many reviews of these textured paints, the new ones and the old ones, because obviously they've got quite a big range actually, which is really nice to see. And of course they have introduced some brand new pre-ordered bits and pieces. It may not be on pre-order by the time the video goes out, but like these extra bits for the bases. I think it's great. I think the whole thing, Games Workshop, you know, saying they're basically acknowledging that the base is incredibly important. I think that is great. It's just that personally, I don't think I would ever buy the Games Workshop textured paint. And indeed my daughter, who is just starting to get into the hobby in terms of painting the models, I'm not going to go and buy her however much they are, I don't even know how much they are, £3 pot of textured paint to put on a few models. I'm going to show her how to glue sand onto the base. Yeah, so I think the only one that I would buy potentially is the one that gives you the crackled effect, because I think that is a little bit different. Although once again, you know, you could make up your own crackled textured paint. Again, I think Luke from APS has a video on that as well. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the Games Workshop textured paint? Please let me know in the description below. A, have you used them? B, do you like them? C, do you think it's overcosted? D, would you make your own textured paint? Would you give it to your children when they're first starting the hobby? That's it from me. Thank you for watching. Beam me up.